Yeah, baby. Pink power. Let's get a look at this setup. Such a professional. Hello, everyone. I am just having a giggle to myself because of the ridiculous setup. But for me, anytime I film, it's all about lighting. Like, lighting is your best friend, and we've got this massive big sort of patio door, but because of where it is, there's nowhere to like set stuff up. And I was like walking around the house like, do you know what, I'm just gonna give it a go. So I just showed you a little bit, but I'm literally like, we've got a bench, we've got a bar stool, we've got a coffee pot. I should get a bit more professional, but for now I actually quite like the rogue filming, and iPhones are pretty good for that. Anyway, I hope you're well. How is everyone? Today's my due date. I actually haven't got any major twinges or anything like that at the moment. I think it's going to be a couple of more days. So I thought I'm going to take full advantage of just filming a bit more, and getting some stuff like lined up for it. And the one thing I really wanted to do, and I've been thinking about this for a really long time, and the energy just kind of like came to me the other day, is about the things that I did to really change the pathways of the way that my life was going. It always sounds really cheesy when I start talking about it, but I was in such a rut in my life. I think I was 34 at the time of lockdown, and up until lockdown, obviously, lots of things changed during lockdown, but up until lockdown, I, not knowing it at the time, but looking back now, was just so highly stressed because of everything. I was totally overworked, underpaid in the company that I was working for, or all the companies that I was working for. I'm someone that I really enjoy work, so I always give it my everything, no matter what I've done, and never really maybe been in the right industry. Anyway, that's definitely for another day. I had a string of very, very bad relationships that really battered my confidence. And I, now looking back, had no self-esteem, like zero. And what's really hard is that I always had a customer facing job. So I was like this all the time. How can I help you? Yes, of course, no problem, I'll do that. So you would never know that is kind of how I was feeling, or I didn't even know I was feeling like that until I sat down and I was like, what is happening with my life? My health was really bad. I had chronic bad gut issues, which led to feeling really low, because there's such a link between that brain-gut connection. I had really bad skin. I didn't sleep. There was just loads of these health conditions that I now realise are all linked down to the way that I was. There's no pill that's going to fix that. It was the fact that I was constantly in this very negative, stressed, overthinking mindset. From the outside, you would have thought I was happy as Larry because I had a very good front. But I was 34, living by myself, coming out of another horrible relationship. All my friends were married, kids. I just couldn't ever progress my life any further than just being very good at a job that I was doing. Anyway, what happened? Obviously lockdown, and it gave me the opportunity to slow down, to think, to reset. Lockdown for everyone was very, very different. I was very lucky that I didn't get affected by money with lockdown, because we kept on working, but at a very slow pace, so I could do lots of this sort of self-development stuff that I'm going to talk about. But I lived by myself, so I had other struggles where you're very, very lonely. But because I lived by myself, I put all my energy into figuring out what is going on. Like, why am I in this position? Why can I not progress? So in this video, what I'm going to talk about, I think it's 5 different things in this video I'm going to go over, of practices that I put in place to change my mindset, because that is lots of it what it was about. It was about the fact that my mind needed to change and I needed to slow down, not necessarily slow down like change my personality, but not have this constant commentary running in my head. So that's what I'm going to go through today. I'm going to go through the things that I did, how I did them, and hopefully 1 or 2 of these practices will be really, really helpful for yourselves. So yeah, let's get into it. So in this video, I am going to go over 4 daily practices that I put in place, like I said, to change the way that my brain was thinking. And I learned a lot of these through books that I was reading, workshops that I was going to. I attended lots of like webinars and self-development workshops and listened to lots of podcasts and kind of really submerged myself into it, and then created these sort of daily practices for myself. So the first one that I really got into was guided meditations. I have tried them before in the past and my mind was too busy. I would start and instantly be thinking about what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, what I'm going to be eating tonight, writing a to-do list in my head. And I would then go, oh, this isn't for me. Like, same with yoga classes. I'd go to a yoga class and just could never, ever switch off. And it wasn't until, because I had the time and I committed, so commitment is a huge one, but I committed that I did a guided meditation every single morning, sometimes night. And I trained my brain to be able to switch off, and that took some time. So I always advise all of my clients and anyone that I speak to about meditations who say, oh, they're not really for me, you have to practice slowing down. It isn't just something that you can just do, it's something that takes time and for your body to adjust to. So practice, start with a 5-minute guided meditation that might just go through stuff like you know, how your shoulders feeling, how's your abdomen feeling, how your legs feeling. Or you could go into something that's maybe a 10-minute meditation, which is about what you want to feel or how you want to be. So for example, you might be wanting to change your career. So you would do a 10-minute meditation all about getting the confidence to make a career change, and it speaks you through it. And you get all of that breathing technique and how to breathe in and out, so how to exhale properly. And like I said, the first couple of weeks that you do it, and when I say weeks, I mean weeks, it doesn't happen overnight, you will feel weird, you won't enjoy it. So you have to commit. Like, meditation is not easy. It isn't just sat there with your eyes closed. It is about allowing some of these thoughts to come, but letting them go and coming back into that meditation. And eventually those thoughts just don't come as much. And that is the sweet spot, is that when you are really for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it is you're doing, immersed into that meditation. One that I did that really changed me and kept me driven to becoming a better person or better version of me. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I was really committed to get out of this horrible rut. The one thing that I did a 10-minute guided meditation, which asked me every time, where do you see yourself in a year? And it would go through how are you going to get there? How do you feel? Who's around you? What did I have to let go to get there? And I then realized about all this stuff that I was holding on to, all the stuff in the past that wasn't really bringing me any joy at all. And I did that every morning, and it kept the fire in my belly that I'm gonna do this. And that's why I ended up changing a massive career change, going from, working in a football club and working in health and leisure to running my own business, working in the wellness industry, trying to promote balance, all these different things. And when I decided to make that career shift, I did that meditation every day, and every time I thought, where do I see myself in a year? It was opening up my own clinic. It had a supportive partner. All of those things are now in my reality. So it just is so powerful. Your brain is so powerful. And I try not to ramble at every single step, because I know I do ramble a lot. So guided meditations, I will put in the description the people that I've used. There's so many free resources on YouTube that you can do. I quite connected with some of the voices of this lady called Roxy Nafusi, and I like the fact that it was categorized as well. So it would be like a career, manifesting, it would be confidence, it would be body image. So I could pick what I wanted to do. But for me, the manifesting one really stuck, because it was really about changing and planning my future. Now, the second thing that I did daily was I listened to affirmations every single night when I'm going to bed, and every single morning when I first woke up. Now, the reason for doing it before bed and when you first wake up is that as you are going into sleep, or as you are waking up, you are naturally in a more meditative state, and you are more in your subconscious mind than you are your conscious mind. And when you're in your subconscious mind, so you're in your parasympathetic nervous system, you're very down, rest and digest, you're kind of in that real meditative state. This is when your brain really absorbs that information. So that's why, for example, doing a meditation that is guided and visualizing, because you are in this sort of subconscious state, I guess you can call it, you absorb it and you start to believe it. And that's what we're trying to get, is for your brain to believe how freaking awesome you are and how amazing you are. And yes, I do deserve to have that promotion, or have a lovely partner, or whatever it is that you want to achieve, or just feel, I deserve to feel good. If your subconscious doesn't believe it, then you're always gonna be in that rut. So it's about really getting into that. So daily affirmations. Now, an affirmation is basically sentences repeated. So if you're gonna, let's say, do a body confidence one, it was normally, let's say, 10 different sentences. So I love my body, I move my body because I respect it, I feed my body nutritious foods, and it would be sentences like that, just on repeat. Again, with a nice meditative music in the back. So I did that every night, every morning. I even had it on when I was driving. So I just had these like sentences, all positive, and I switched up between different types of affirmations depending on how I felt, because for me it was also about getting my health better. So I did a lot around like, I will not always be bloated, or I won't always have this problem, and all these sort of things. So they are amazing. You can literally pop them on anywhere. If you live with somebody and you can't do it at night, literally just have them on whilst you're driving. They're not asking you to do a meditation, it's just these affirmations coming back at you. Go for a walk first thing in the morning, put them in your headphones, don't look at your phone, just listen to them, look up. I would highly recommend affirmations morning and night. The third thing that I did was mantras. Almost forgot what it was then. I just realised that my hands are so puffy from pregnancy and so sore. But third thing I did was positive mantras. Now, again, I didn't know about any of this before lockdown, and would have been someone like, yeah, whatever. But again, just changed the way I thought about myself. So what I did was I picked three things that I didn't like, or was struggling with, or I had an insecurity about. And so, for example, mine were, I'm never going to find anyone. I'm going to be single forever. Because, you know, society, 34 turning 35, it makes you feel like that, that you are past it. And my second one was that people don't think I am smart, or respect me, like in the kind of more work environment. And this is because I'm very, very dyslexic, and I sometimes, well, not sometimes, a lot, spell things wrong. I hate reading out loud in front of people. It literally makes me sweat. If someone's like, oh, can you read that out? I'm like, oh. And I think I had a bit of a complex about that. I've always used dyslexia as an advantage for myself, because it means that I am very good in other situations. Hence why I've always had very good customer facing jobs. I'm very good at talking to people. But I just had this inkling, and because I have had people take the piss out of it, and people go, oh, you haven't spelt that wrong or whatever, right, and never knowing. So yeah, I think it's an ingrained thing how people treat you. So that was one of them, never feeling respected or smart. And then my third one was my health. I am always going to be severely bloated. I'm always going to have these gut problems, and that's going to just be part of my life. I'm basically going to be miserable. So what I did is I flipped those three on their head, and I put, I will not end up alone. So that was first one. I will not end up alone. I am respected and smart. I have good health. So those three were my first ones that I did, and I had them written down. I wrote them down every day, which is going to come for our fourth one that I'm going to go into. So I wrote those down every single day, repeated them. I had them written on some post-it notes, popped around the flat. I had them on my phone screen cover, so that's what I read all the time. And then when I went out for a walk, I would then repeat those ones in my head. So like I said, I hit it quite hard during lockdown. So I kind of did my affirmations in the morning. I'd go out, I'd repeat them. As my brain wandered off to thinking about other things, which it does, I just brought it back, and then kept on repeating those. And I then started writing it like I believed it. And that was some changing moments for me. I was like, yeah, I am. And I am respected. Like, I'm not going to end up alone. Of course I'm not. You start to believe it because your subconscious is now also going, yeah, girl, we got this. So yeah, find your three, change them to the positive side of it, repeat, practice. That's all it is. So the final one, again, that I did absolutely daily, and it changed my perspective on things, was a gratitude list. Now, there is studies proven that gratitude lists really do work. God, this is so hot. And what they just do, I don't know, I can't remember what the actual science behind it is, but to do with the calming and the confidence boosting. Now, what I have had back from my clients when I speak about this is, well, I ran out of things to write. And after like day 2, I'm like writing the same thing. I was like, yeah, you write the same thing every single day. And that's what I did. My gratitude list was pretty much the same every single day. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I am so grateful. I have a roof over my head. I can feed myself. So I did the basics. I was like, I have a home. I can afford to feed myself. I can move my body. I have friends, I have family. And then I would go, what's happened in my day today? I had an amazing coffee today. Or oh my God, I've got mind blank. Or I have had an amazing conversation with somebody, or I felt really good. I'm really grateful that I felt really good today. And some days your gratitude list is bigger, some days it's not, but I would always have the basics. The basics that for me, like I said, roof over my head, I could feed myself, I can move my body, I've got the luxury of having friends and family. Some people don't. And the more and more I wrote those down, I was like, I am okay. I am safe. My life is okay. And it, like I said, it is about the perspective of things. And the more I got into that mindset, the calmer I got, the more productive I got, because I'm not in this frantic state all the time. And things just started to happen, and I just felt better. I made better choices. I would say no to things that I knew were not good for me before, because I just had the confidence to and knew what I wanted to do. And so when I wrote those gratitude lists down, actually, I would always write at the end, I think for me, I must have had subconsciously some sort of body thing going on. So I would also write like, I love my body as many times as I could. And at the first time I started doing that, I couldn't even write it. And then I could write it 3 months later confidently. So like I said, it really is about practice. So that is the 4. I know I'm doing this. They're just the 4 daily things that I did. I'm going to do some more videos about other procedures that I put in place, other therapies that I tried that are all more kind of the holistic side of therapies. But those 4 daily things, I truly believe changed how my life went. And when I'm in a bit more of a routine again, obviously nearly about to give birth, you're not in a routine. They're things I really want to start to do. They won't be as hardcore as I did them, because I was very lucky, like I said. Work slowed down. I was living by myself. I only had me to think about. But there are ways of getting those into your life. So for example, I say to my clients now, just get up half an hour before that you normally did, sit down, do a 10-minute guided meditation, maybe do a breathing exercise, write down a gratitude list, write down your mantras, and just commit just to that and see how you feel. I hope these helped. Please do share and like this video, because I do think that the more that people know about this sort of thing, the better. And any questions, of course, just let me know.